have no idea what I'm doing. You know, whatever you want to say about Benidorm, you can't argue with a view like that.
Welcome back to the channel. We're Dan and Stephen, and since the end of 2021 we've lived in our little 1996 VW campervan, and in between jobs we spent time travelling around our beautiful home country of the UK. Recently we left our shores for mainland Europe and now find ourselves exploring Spain, beginning in Catalonia. This week we head to a supposedly hot spring in the mountains before throwing ourselves into one of Spain's most iconic resorts. So sit back, relax and come along dear.
Morning. So we decided not to stay here for a couple of days to do some work. We had a really good night's sleep. Didn't hear anything except what sounded like turkeys or something. I don't know if it was turkeys, but it sounded like turkeys. Not a soul, nobody. It was lovely, and no other vans or anything, but there's plenty of room if other vans did turn up. But I don't know where we're going. We got to find somewhere, Stevie.
Si, senor.
Right, let's have a look. Okay, so we moved on from where we were this morning, and I'm very sorry I'm out of breath. I've just been for a run, but we've moved to a little place. I don't know where we are. All I know is we're sort of somewhere near Barcelona area, just outside. This little park up, it's great because it's a free air of sorts. There's water and there's places to get rid of your rubbish and recycling and stuff like that, which is great. But this is what's really amazing is they've got a little running track there. So it seems to be like this little town in the middle of nowhere, although it's got a supermarket just down the road. And there's this little running track, so I've just been down that, which is so nice. The van's parked right next to it. So not bad, that's the first. Possibly the first and last time we'll find a park up with a running track. So there's the running track, somebody going around it. You've got these little points here that are like, they say they're electric hookup points, but I don't think they work, to be honest. All right, Steve.
Hi.
Do you fancy a run on the running track?
Maybe later.
Oh, later on.
Yeah, I've done
off
that
camera.
today.
Off
Yeah,
camera.
off camera. I don't want to show her.
No, you wouldn't want to do that.
I don't want to make people feel small. Right, on your marks. Get set.
Oh, this is a bit triggering.
Go. Oh. Let's see how long it takes him. I think he's going a bit slow personally. I'd probably go a bit quicker than that.
Oh really, Steve? Looks pretty quick to me. Don't know what you're talking about.
One minute 45, 46.
Where's my gold medal?
I haven't got one, but there is a glass of wine.
Even better. Did I break any world records?
I don't know.
I must have done. Must have done, right?
Yeah, I would have gone quicker, but you know.
You can do that off camera.
Let's not brag.
Don't show off.
Right, come on. Let's get in. It's getting cold. So that's it for now. We're going to settle down. Have a glass of wine, settle down. I don't know if we've got enough power to watch anything tonight, but if not, we'll just have to talk to each other, Dan.
Oh my God, no! Ah!
What are these?
What is this?
After a couple of days spent on the Aire, it was time to move on, and on this day we headed for the hills into a peaceful and isolated village to find yet another free air to settle down in, ready for the next day to go in search of what was meant to be a natural hot spring, which of course we just had to put to the test, if we could find it, that is.
Okay, so today's plan is we're in this little village called Prat de Comte, which is not how you say it. So we're in this little village and we're going to go to the hot springs, the Fontcalda hot springs that we've read about. Now, we've read a lot about these, that they're not actually that hot at all, and some other really kind of snarky comments that you'll turn up and find a puddle or something, a lukewarm puddle. So I don't know what we're actually going to see. But we're here now. It's a bit of a rubbish day. The wind has been quite strong and we're sort of fairly high up, not too high up, but it's been quite strong and it looks like it's going to rain. So we're not going to walk all the way from here, but we can drive up and then it's a shorter walk to the actual springs. So I've put my swimming shorts on underneath. I'm not committing to anything. Stephen's got his with him, and if it's any good, we'll go in. It is a Sunday, so I don't know if there's lots of people there. I don't know if there isn't. I don't know if it's just rubbish. I don't know. We will see. So we will find out what these hot springs are actually like in a minute, whether we go in or not. But that's the plan. So we'll see you up there. Yeah, also just to add, it's actually quite cold today. The wind was really strong and the temperature has definitely dropped. So let's see what these hot springs have to offer. Right, let's go. Got the towels. That's about it, really. Well, hopefully it's all right. We've left Daisy in a little car park and there's a couple of other vans about, so fingers crossed it should be right. It seems really quiet. So we're on the walk to the springs. There's no one about. And there's this cycle trail with, I don't know if this is a bit of road or a walkway, but there's no one about. And we're about to go through a long dark tunnel by the looks of it, with no lights. So this will be fun. Okay, this is a bit like a horror film now. And it's really cold. Can't wait for the hot springs. Oh, a bit of water. Are we on the right track? More tunnels. If anyone's ever walked the Monsell Trail in the Peak District, this is very much like that, a long cycle path along what seems like an old disused railway line. I don't know if this is, but it seems very similar. They've already got lost and we're walking down a straight trail, like it goes from one end to the other. How do you get lost? We've still done it. Managed to get lost on a straightforward route. I think we've gone too far. This track, I think, goes on for miles in each direction. So like the Monsell Trail in the Peak District, you can sort of travel between towns and across the national park of sorts. But I think we might walk past the springs. We'll go through this tunnel and have a look.
After going back and forth for a while, we eventually found the way down to Fontcalda Springs, although we were still none the wiser as to where the spring part actually was.
I don't know if it's the whole river or not. So when we read some comments about it's a bath, if it's just that little thing, maybe that's where the hot water comes out and this just goes into the river. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna brave it. And I'm even more scared now because this group of hikers just walked past, all just touched the water and just carried on their way. Nobody else is in the water, so I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing. I feel like I'm going in my socks, my feet are already hurting.
Wap, 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 wow. He's getting his legs out.
I think this is a bit nuts, to be honest.
I think it is, and all.
Alright, look. We're doing our duty as YouTubers to report on the Fontcalda hot springs in the middle of February.
Go on then.
I don't want to do it.
You do it, I'll film. And on tonight's programme we have the Daniel. The Daniel does stupid things, like going in freezing cold water in February.
That was absolutely unbearable. I don't recommend. I can't recommend it. I feel like I've got needles all over me. It just felt like icy water. To be honest, it felt like when I went in the river in Scotland in September, only that feeling of coldness went away pretty quick. This kind of didn't. Yeah, no. I can't recommend it, but somehow quite refreshing nonetheless.
Let's go and try the baby pool.
We're going to try the baby pool because that's where the warm water's coming in, so let's go and check that out. Okay, so after that, not particularly pleasant experience, I'm going to try the actual bathing pool where I believe the hot spring water actually runs into before it trails off into the river. And it did feel warmer, so fingers crossed this is going to be a little bit nicer. Oh my god, it's really warm. Oh, that's nice. Yay! Oh no, look! Is that something?
It's some rubbish in your lovely pool.
It's kind of disgusting, I'm not going to lie, because although the water's really warm, it's just a bit grubby in here, but I felt like I had to do it. So this is where the warm water's coming out, and you can feel it is warm, so we've got some success out of this. Let's just find out. Yeah, so the water comes out of this little hole here. Presumably that's where the hot spring is being sourced from, and they've made this little bathing pool for people, which is alright, you know, it needs a bit of a clean up, that's all. I imagine the river's lovely in summer and much nicer to swim in. But I've done it. So that's that. I'm all thermal watered up. So that was so much warmer. As I was saying earlier, you can see and feel where the spring water, the hot spring water actually comes out. It's not hot, it's lukewarm at best. And of course, once it comes out, it's going to cool down pretty quick. And then once it goes into the river, it cools down even quicker to the point where it's icy cold. So maybe in summer it's better, but yeah, I wouldn't call it a hot spring by any stretch. I think you're using your descriptive terms very loosely there. But still nice, and that was warm. But we're done. What are we going to do now? Walk back?
Mm-hmm.
Right, so we're back from Fontcalda Springs, and to confirm, the hot springs were not particularly hot. But it's an experience, it's still refreshing, it's still quite nice to go in and get that buzz of cold water, so I can see why people do it, but I've got full respect for people that go swimming in the sea in the middle of winter and rivers and everything, because that takes quite a lot of willpower to not just go in, but to actually stay in and not run out. And I didn't quite have the willpower to stay in this time, but it was still nice, and I've done it. Right, Steve, where are we going tomorrow?
Benidorm.
We're going to Benidorm, like proper touristy Brits.
Yeah, we're hoping to stay at a campsite.
It feels like it's got to be done, right?
Yeah, well, I definitely think so.
I feel like we've got to tick it off the list, like you just can't not do it. And this great old mess on the kitchen counter is tonight's dinner. Now that, it's a cauliflower, obviously. It's absolutely huge, to be fair, but that cost us about £2.80, which is pretty shocking. I don't know if it's imported or out of season or what, but you know, we actually read the price wrong, so we probably wouldn't have bought it otherwise. But one of our staples is making cauliflower curry, because back home in the UK, it's a pretty cheap and easy thing to do. You get a cauliflower, it usually lasts you 2 meals, and it bulks out a meal. It's really nice, and if you don't eat meat, we do eat meat, but if you don't, it's a really good replacement. And even if you were trying to not eat meat so much, it's a really good alternative, to be honest. Where are we going, Steve?
We're going to Benidorm.
We're going to Benidorm. Yeah, so we're off to Benidorm. We've booked a campsite, so we're going to stay there for 2 nights. We desperately need to wash our sticky bits, as Stephen said, saucepans. We need a shower, and we just want somewhere secure, really, to stay because we're probably going to go out in the evening on one of the nights. So yeah, Benidorm, here we come. Looking forward to it, I think. I'm excited by the prospect of it. Let's just say that, and it's got to be ticked off the list. We've got to do it. Okay, so we've just arrived. The place is called Camping Armanello, I think. So there's about 3 or 4 different campsites, about half an hour's walk from the town. And this one had a few spaces. They all seemed kind of much of a muchness, but it's really nice. There's loads of spaces. There's loads of different things here. There's like campervans, caravans, motorhomes, there's chalets, there's like huts, there's things that looks like people have been here for forever, to be honest, and people who are just coming and going, so it's a real mishmash. Showers are lovely, so we've just had a shower. Stephen's grabbing his now. Got a nice little pitch. You're all, you know, I'm not saying you're squashed in, but there's people everywhere, which is absolutely fine, not a problem. So yeah, it all seems good really, quite nice facilities, pretty peaceful. We're in Benidorm, Steve.
We're in Benidorm.
Although we're quite far out, we knew it was the campsite, all the campsites to be honest. They seem a similar distance. One was completely booked up, so we went in one, Camping Armanello I think it's called, and it's about a 30-minute walk into town, which is fine by us, but we're probably going to come back and then go out again later, so depending on how we feel, we might end up getting a taxi back later on, so we'll see. Also, fun fact about Benidorm, apparently everybody's seen the images of all the tall buildings, but apparently it's got the most amount of skyscrapers. I don't know what you class as a skyscraper, but let's just say tall buildings per square metre than anywhere else in the world except New York. Now, I have no idea if that statistic is true. Let us know in the comments if it isn't, or if it is. But oh my god, that's pretty impressive, isn't it? Like New York and then Benidorm. I can't see how that is true, but when you look at it and see just how many tall buildings there are, you can kind of believe it, because they're just all squashed together on the seafront, and it looks pretty amazing as we were driving in. And in the 1950s, apparently it's just a little fishing village, so what a transformation. I mean, that's like, has anything changed that quickly? I expect it has, the world changes a lot, but that is quite a stark difference. Okay, we've definitely arrived. Cheap and cheerful, eh? But is it though? Look at that, that's a proper English tea. I love it. That's not too bad. This is quite surreal, like one of those places that you just see all the time, and obviously like the TV show has helped in that sense, but it's so recognisable, and even if you've never been there you would have seen it, so it's really weird suddenly being amongst all this now. But actually it's a lot nicer than I thought, to be honest.
I think it's terrific in the summer.
Yeah, I imagine, like, because it's quite busy now in the middle of February, but this is obviously going to be rammed in the summer. But the water looks nice, the beach is nice, the buildings are really striking all along. It's not going to be for everyone, is it? And I'm not saying I would like this all the time myself, but that's not bad, is it? Tide's coming in. That's gorgeous. There's like a little mini library on the beach. People playing chess. That's really nice. Yeah, so this is what? It's a Tuesday afternoon, right at the end of February. Nice day. And there's still quite a lot of people walking about, so that's quite pleasant at this point, because there's room to breathe.
And there's a lot open.
And there's a lot open, yeah, there is actually. Yeah, so obviously a lot of stuff in Spain shuts middle of the day, but here most of it seems to stay open. But just looking at this now, you can just imagine how rammed this would be in the middle of June, which would be, by both of our definitions, a total nightmare, I reckon. So I think we've come at the perfect time. There you go. See, that didn't take long, did it, Steve? Fish and chips.
Buckets of beer.
Buckets of beer. Should get a bucket. It's like an actual pub. Right, so we found somewhere to eat, didn't we? On the seafront, which ain't bad. Get something to eat, something to drink. We're going to try and get Stephen some new jeans, and then we're going to head back to the campsite. I feel like I'm on holiday now. Do you know what I mean?
Well, we are really.
We are anyway, but what I mean is, like when we're driving around, we're just in our van, we just happen to be in a different location. But when we stop at little places like this and treat ourselves to a campsite, it's actually like being on holiday. So, I'll drink to that. Cheers to Benidorm. Cheers, Steve.
Cheers.
Here's to Benidorm.
And a pint that's not really a pint.
Right, what are we doing, Steve?
We're going on the piss.
I'm sure there's a nicer way to put it.
Yeah, we're going for a few drinks.
We're going for a few drinks.
Yes, a few wines and some beers.
Yes. And shots and other stuff. Anyway, should be fun, hopefully. Might be a drag show or two. What do you reckon?
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Bit of karaoke.
That'd be good. Embarrass ourselves again.
Well, we don't have to come back, do we?
No, exactly. This is the thing. We go to these places, sing karaoke, do it so horribly, and then we never have to return to that place again. It's the beauty of being in a van, basically.
And so we made our way out to the old town of Benidorm, stopping in a bar called Excalibur, which was a lot of fun and run by the owner Aire, who will insist on playing any music you want and brings out free tapas with every drink.
Aire, thank you so much. Thank you. We've had a ball. It's been brilliant. We'll come back. We'll recommend you.
Very nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. See you again. Thank you. You too. Where are we now, Steve?
Found a G-spot.
We found G-spot, okay.
After this, things became a little bit sketchier, but we had a good time, we think. See you in the morning.
Morning, Steve.
Morning.
Morning. And that's all I have to say, which is all you need to know. I should tell you everything. We had a very good time. We got back to our campsite fine. And that's all there is to say on this subject at the moment. Yeah, we had a good night. We are feeling it today. But that's okay. That's why we booked 2 nights in a way. And later on, I still plan to go walking, because that might cure all ills right now, but not right now. Right then.
He's off.
I'm off. It's getting late in the day, to be honest. We have been a bit sort of worse for wear, but it was worth it. We did have a good time. It's nearly 5 o'clock and I know the sun sets in a couple of hours. Well, the whole point of going, there's no point being up there when it's dark. Although that will be interesting to see the lights, but I don't know how easy it is to get up and down, to be honest. So the plan is to get up there. I think it's an hour walk and then obviously an hour back. So as long as I'm up there while the light's still good, it should be all right. That's it. I'm just going to go up and check out the view. It's got to be done.
No, try not to get lost.
Try not to. Surely I can't get lost on this one, right? Right. Bye.
Bye.
Right, so it appears to be just me and thee then. Steve's missed it out. He got out of it. I knew he would. He completely got out of it. I've had a shower, I've had a shave. I feel a bit less hungover-ified. So we're going to give this a go. But the sun's setting and we've got about an hour to walk. So I can hear my own voice, I can hear Steve's voice in my head just saying, get a move on, stop talking, stop gassing to this thing, stop stopping to take photographs, just get up there first. It seems like a straightforward route, but we'll see. I can't even remember what it's called now, but it's a thing, it's a very famous viewpoint here. It looks over the entire town, over the coast, and there's some quite important, special significance to it, which we'll tell you when we get up there, because I can't remember as it goes. So let's go and find out. So I've stuck to the original route that Google Maps took me on, and yeah, it's going to be a bit of a hike actually. And another thing, I don't think it can be underestimated just how kind of impressive it is seeing all these massive tall skyscraper type buildings all over Benidorm, and when you're beneath some of them and they just stretch up and seem to touch the sky. From a sight, from a distance, it looks pretty amazing, but when you're among them as well, it's like, wow, you know, like some of them aren't the most pretty looking buildings, but it's still kind of staggering to be around. But yeah, I don't know if there's an easier route. I'll probably get around the other side and find there's like a lift that goes straight to the top or something. But if you don't like walking, this is definitely not for you, because it goes uphill. I can't imagine there's a way around it, apart from, as I say, unless there's another way, or you drive to the top. So, but this is going to be worth it, I think. It's already looking pretty good from above. But I best stop nattering and get on with it, I guess. Okay, we're nearly there. In all honesty, as much as I wish Steve had come with me, it's probably a good job he did. Because this isn't easy by any stretch, especially when you're feeling hungover. We're not at the top yet, but that's worth it, right? Alright, nearly there. You don't see a soul when you get to the top, and there's actually loads, because everyone's taking the easy route, which, after doing it, makes a whole lot of sense. Oh my word. That is something else. Wow. I said it earlier, but it's literally like a city, isn't it? I mean, it's so huge. It feels like from up here, like you're literally staring at one of the biggest cities in the world or something, but it's not, but it's just got the illusion of it. Amazing. You know, whatever you want to say about Benidorm, reputation it's got, for whatever reason, deserved or not, you can't argue with a view like that. And there's a lot to offer here, you know. It's much better than I thought it was going to be. The beach is beautiful, the sea is beautiful, it's quite clean from what I can tell, and there's not really, I know we're only here on a random middle of the week in February, so it's not like true representation, but it seems like it's not completely full of troublemakers or people gonna give you a hard time. You know, no worse than anywhere else anyway. It's just amazing. I probably wouldn't want to spend a week here, but for us, as I was saying when we got here, it's quite a novelty because, you know, we're here and we're experiencing Spanish food and culture as we're driving around, so just to come here and see some of the English things and stuff like that, it's quite, you know, it's quite nice. It's a novelty for a couple of days maximum, but I can see why people do it. You've got all the hot weather with all the comforts from home, I guess. Okay, so we're at the cross. At the end of 1961, they basically carried this huge cross atop the hill in order to redeem the city from its frivolous reputation. Which is kind of interesting when you think what Benidorm's probably evolved into since then.
Since then, the cross has become a shrine of sorts, with people who hold Benidorm close to their hearts, leaving items and photos in memory of their loved ones. The cross itself is made of metal, and not the prettiest of features up close, but it's a striking emblem standing over the town that serves a touching purpose, and offers some incredible views of Benidorm and its coastline.
Sadly, the light's completely faded, but I still can't get over that. I just can't get over the buildings. You really do have to see it for yourself, and whether, you know, it's not for everybody. Some people think that's the ugliest thing in the world, loads of concrete just sort of stacked up, and in a way it is, but it's still it's still kind of an awe-inspiring sight, despite that. It's like, it feels like you're looking down on a major city here, but actually when you look behind it just kind of ends, so obviously it doesn't sprawl on for miles, but that concentrated bit, yeah, it's amazing. Right, let's head back down.
And so I made my way back down to the campsite before the light disappeared completely, with the view of this iconic place etched in my mind. That's where we'll leave the video this week. Join us next time as we head to the perfect park up in the Spanish countryside and make our way further south. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, press the free subscribe button to keep up with our travels, and ding the notification bell so you don't miss an episode. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.